I was like, I'm not using chat anymore, even though this is like our third or fourth transaction. Everything had gone amazing before. And she even said on our last transaction, because she just bought a condo, an investment condo, like a couple months ago, she's like, last time you sent me all this stuff beforehand, this time you didn't, and there was stuff that was not what you said it was going to be. And I was like, I just apologized. I didn't like blame anybody. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna take care of this. I'm gonna get, and I did. I got it all fixed. Did my video, and then she ended up being like super happy at the end. But it was like, A, if you have a process, you got to stick to it, and B, like, think of your process and how good is your process. Like, are you really delivering that level of service? And this was also a reminder to me is that a lot of times you're only as good as your last transaction. And we have to remember that, because like literally, like I'm thinking in my mind, I build up all this goodwill, and it's like, it only takes you one situation, and it wasn't even a bad thing. Like, we were closing on time, everything was fine. The numbers ended up being all correct and actually better than I told her it was going to be.
That could be a whole nother 15 to 30 minute conversation too, by the way. But yes, but great example. Great lesson.
Yeah, that's just, take the bullet. Like, don't pass the blame. Like, how many people would have just been like, made an excuse?
Yep.
And it didn't even cross my mind to make an excuse, because and the reality is your quickest way to resolution is to own it.
Accountability is very powerful. Just real quick, because I know we're exceeding 30 minutes here, but I had a horrible situation yesterday that was a closing process. And unfortunately, it was out of our control because it wasn't an internal loan. It was not a RISE controlled loan. I had to broker it out because it was a very unique loan, and we had a failure. I'm not, pointing fingers, but the company that we had to broker the loan to just had a really slow sort of funding and closing process that really made the customer upset. And to your point about accountability, I was really, really upset. But and because remember, in this case, I'm a customer too, right? Like the home buyer's a client, but because we're brokering out this unique loan, we're also a client to this investor. And what made me feel better and what really massaged it for me was the account executive took like very aggressive accountability, and he called me like 3 or 4 times yesterday toward the end of the day, and at the and even into the evening. I think I was on my way home at about 6 o'clock last night, maybe 5:30. I was a little late, and he called me while I was on my way to let me know things had gotten finalized. And and I could tell he was like, he's just a young guy, he's probably newer in the business. I've gotten to know him a little bit, but to your point, the accountability he took made me feel better